Cayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. And Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Health City, now open at Camana Bay 7 days a week. Optical Outlook, now at their new location in Anderson Square. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook. And Lee's Office Products Limited at Paddington Place, Godfrey Nixon Way, moving your business forward.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome to another Business Buzz. It's a beautiful Tuesday on the outside. It's hoping you're having a wonderful Tuesday morning so far. If you're making your way into work, good morning to you. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on the Business Buzz this morning. I want to say thanks to Silver Fox. He's manning the board, the camera, the door, the chickens, and just about everything this morning. Good morning, Paul. Thank you. And good morning to our producer, Miss Susan Watson. Susan is having a little R&R this week, and I just want to say thank you, Susan. Is hoping you'll have a wonderful week. Now, on the Business Buzz this morning, I want to let you know that illustrations are such an integral part of children's books. Before children can read, it's the pictures that they truly connect with in books. Picture books with the illustrated characters have a huge impact on how children take to reading. Even as an adult, I too love to look at the cover of the book or even the back of the book I'm about to read. Illustrators like our studio guests can be instrumental in shaping a child's opinion about reading and books. There are so many beautifully illustrated books that captivate a child's imagination. And we believe that Caymanian watercolor illustrator Michelle M. Bryan has brought the art to life in her new children's book. So this morning we put the illustrator spotlight on this talented artist. Ms. Bryan was gracious to take the time out to come on the show to answer some of our questions. So without further ado, let's meet local watercolor illustrator of Michelle Illustrations. Good morning, Michelle. Welcome to the Business Buzz.
Good morning, and thank you so much for that warm welcome and introduction.
Did I call the name correctly? Michelle Illustrations?
Michelle Illustrations. You said it right. Yeah.
Okay, Michelle Illustrations, Paul. Now, Michelle, I'm so excited to hear about your journey. And we have a copy of your latest book for our viewers to see. So, just share with us what piqued your interest in illustrations?
Well, as long as I can remember, I've been drawing or painting or doing something art related from the time I was a little girl at Boddentown Primary School, now Theolin McCoy Primary School. I was very much involved in the art department, and they had a thriving art program. So we did everything from throwing pots to painting ceramics and even baking a gingerbread man, which I consider that art too.
Art too, right?
So, yes, from the time I was a little girl, I loved art. I chose it in high school, and I did very well with that GCSE. And I also took a few classes at Art Nest, which is where I rekindled my love as an adult at Art Nest. And so my husband actually, he sponsored me or gifted me a month-long watercolor class, because before that I was into acrylic painting. But that's when I really started to love watercolors, and that was like January 2017. And so that's when I started to really pursue illustration a bit more.
Well, Michelle, I tell you what, I'm looking at the cover of your brand new book, Beach Days at Peace Bay Beach. I just love the name of the book. Now, what was it that prompted you to create and publish children's books?
Well, it's always been a dream of mine to be a published author illustrator. And I had this story in my heart treasured up from time I was a little girl. It's a true story of a red letter day from my childhood, and all these things happening in one summer day with two neighbors that I had growing up. And so I had the illustration actually done when I was in lockdown, when I had so much time. We all did, right? So I had a lot of time on my hands, and it was March 2020 that I did the doodle of this first character, Mia, who is based on me. Oh, and so I started that way, and I wrote this story out in one night, I could tell you. It just came out of me, and I just edited it over time to make it, tweak the little grammar, errors and stuff, and then I was able to put the illustration to the story.
I just love it. Paul you had a camera on it a few minutes ago, so our viewers can see it. Beach day at Peace Bay Beach. I haven't been to Peace Bay Beach in a long time. Is it still there?
It's still there.
Is it still accessible?
That's the thing. That's the other question.
Okay. Now, what are the important elements of a good children's book, Michelle?
I think a good children's book is one that is treasured. So it inspires creativity. It sparks imagination. There should be elements of, something that a child can find familiar to, like family, friends, having fun. And I think what it should do is it should spark the desire to read and reread. So it should be one that they love to hear over and over again.
And good thing about illustrations, I was looking at beach day at Peace Bay Beach. The illustration is amazing. The colors, the parrot, the green parrot, just about the soldier crabs. I just love the colors. And the butterflies. And tell you what, children, they look at these pictures and they even make up stories.
Right.
My grandson would look at this and make up some other story.
I love that.
Or he'll make a bigger story from your story. He's only 5. No, Michelle, how many books you've published so far, you said?
This is my first book.
This is your first
one.
one?
Debut children's book.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And it's hardcover.
Yes.
It's great for a collection. Put it up on the shelf.
I love the hardcover.
Yeah, me too. And it's nice and glossy. And this was published locally.
Yes, with CLM Publishing.
CLM. Miss Chin.
Yes.
And Miss Chin, if you're listening, good morning. She's a regular to our program here on the Business Buzz. Now, Michelle, walk us through the process of this first new book. What it took to put it all together.
Right. Like I said, it started like a little doodle, some idea I had in lockdown. And I finished the illustrations. That's the easy part for me. The art is the easiest part.
Really?
Yes.
I thought that would be the hardest part.
No. The hardest part was the business side of it because I was unfamiliar with the publishing business.
Okay.
But I've learned a lot since I began. I finished the story in like I said, one night. It just came out of me because it was a true story. So it's a red letter day from my childhood. And I've treasured it for so many years. Like I still remember that day. And so the business side of it, then I shopped around to see what different publishers were offering and how much it cost to produce one locally.
That's locally? Okay.
Locally. And I found out the costs and I realized how much it costs.
Hey?
Yes. But it's funny because I've done many booths and things at different art events like Cayman Live Experience and Red Sky at Night and even Taste of Cayman. And I meet different creators that way. And so I met this creator named Bruce. He's into all kinds of things, music, photography. And he was the one that sent me a message saying, there's a grant for arts available at CNCF. I had never heard of it, but it's been going on for many years. And he was like, I'm looking forward to that book. That's all he sent me. And he sent me the link.
Nice.
And it was the day before the deadline for the application. So I spent that night filling out the application form. I think it was like 15 pages. And,
15 pages?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, and I was just
very detailed.
I know. Yeah. I was just telling them how much I would really appreciate if they were to give me this grant. And it would have been a significant injection into my project. And so I applied, and 3 months later I heard back from them. And it was given to me, and I was thanking the Lord because I had been praying for it, and I was so grateful that the Lord answered my prayer and given me this grant. And I thank you, CNCF, if you're listening.
Thank you, CNCF.
Thank you, Mr. Matu. Thank you, Mrs. Matu and Miss Virginia. Yes, I was really grateful for that grant. But after receiving the grant, I reached out to my publisher and gave her all of my scanned illustrations, which was on a USB, because I do hand drawn.
Okay.
Yeah. And so gave her the USB, gave her the story in Word format. And then I went back and forth, a couple of times, like, oh, I want this, bigger or smaller, or can you edit this in this way, or I like this font more than this font. I love those things, choosing fonts and stuff like that.
And the publisher, Miss Karen
yes,
Chin,
yeah.
she's very patient.
Yeah. We went back and forth a few times. And then everything was done, approved, dusted. And then 4 months later, I got the books in my hands.
So what date was it actually published?
It was published, yeah.
No, what date? Do you remember what date?
The date, I think it was beginning of September.
Okay, so just a few days ago? I mean,
just
a month ago?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I just recently
it's
received
fresh
it.
off the press.
Fresh off the press.
Oh, my goodness. So did Bruce get a first copy?
I would like to think so, but I did let him know, and I did give him all, the honors, because he really did help me a lot. And so, and of course, a part of the grant conditions is that different primary schools, public schools, should have 2 copies of the book each. So I did distribute to the primary schools and to CNCF. CLM has a few copies, so it's already been distributed widely.
How about a public library?
Public libraries.
Okay.
And so the other thing is it's also available for purchase at 8 venues.
Wow.
So
nice.
yeah.
You want to name some of them, Michelle?
Sure. It's at Goodness, which is right across the road from RBC Bank on Shedden Road in the Old FedEx building. It's at Book Nook. Next Chapter, Cayman Sense, Cayman National Museum, Cayman Handmade Collective, Bedside Manor, and Pure Art.
Pure Art. Okay. Making notes.
Yeah.
Congratulations again, Michelle.
Thank you.
That is awesome. I can just, without even opening the book, just sit there and look at that book all day. I just love the photo in the front with the 3 friends. I mean, multicultural, Now, let's talk a little bit about the book. What the characters in the book, are they people, you said you based one of them on yourself.
Yes.
How about the other 2 girls?
There are 2 friends growing up.
Okay, so you have 3 friends growing up
Yeah.
in Boddentown.
In Boddentown,
Okay,
right.
all right.
The best district, in my opinion.
No, I live in Newlands. Paul lives in Prospect, so we'll have a fight, right? But okay, I'll take Boddentown. No, is the book in proper English or is it in Caymanian dialect?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have how many other characters in the book?
Well, there's also Papa Ben, Grandpa, who gives us a ride to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was always
In his
around.
Honda?
In his little blue car. I can't remember what kind of car it was, but it was a little blue one. And there's also some creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it there. Some magical creatures. There's some parrots. There's soldier crabs. There's man o' wars. A bunch of different characters in there.
Folks, you have to buy this book to read it, and it's a great book for your children's collection. Now, how would you describe the type of the art or the illustrations that you create, and especially in this new book?
A lot of the times people have described it as whimsical and very joyful. Like, it just makes them feel so good inside. I love to hear testimonies from different people that I've done commissions for, that they said it just harkens them back to childhood. And it makes them think about that. So it's hand-drawn watercolor illustrations, and also just whimsical, I would say. Whimsical, full of joy.
Yeah. I just love the cheeks, the way you did the cheeks on the girls. Very nice. Michelle, we have to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk about one of your favorite drawing. But in the meantime, I want to let our listeners know that you're listening to the Business Buzz. This is our first segment of the Business Buzz this Tuesday morning, and we're speaking with Michelle Bryan. She's a Caymanian watercolor illustrator, and her brand new book is out, and we'll discuss more about this. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Center, Optical Outlook and Cayman Medical Supplies.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Geraldine Melba Grant, Certificate of Honor, 1912 to 2004. Nurse Grant performed dedicated service to the people of the Cayman Islands for 40 years. She was often away from home for days at a time, caring for her patients. She has received awards from the West Bay and Georgetown Seventh-day Adventist churches, 50s Club Cayman Islands, and Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, as well as the Certificate and Badge of Honor. Nurse Grant never let a patient's lack of money impair the quality of medical attention given, even though she and her own family made many sacrifices as a result. She was the sole provider for her family of 4 children, and she physically helped her uncle build their family home. When she wasn't nursing, she worked long hours plaiting thatch rope, which she sold to earn extra income. She delivered 200 babies, more than half of whose parents could not pay her for her services. She successfully nursed 7 people with typhoid fever, at least 4 of them unable to pay. She is a prime example of selfless, honest, and hardworking Caymanian whose name appears on the Wall of Honor.
We are island people. We know that hurricane season means preparation now, ahead of time, being ready ahead of the fury of nature we cannot control. Preparation that can make the difference between life and death, injury and safety, the misery of loss, the regret of procrastination. Know this now. Hurricane safety begins with you. It's your responsibility and mine. Your medicine, your valuable documents, your water, your place of safety during the storm. Your preparation now will directly determine your outcome during and after the storm. Prepare now. A message from Rotary Central. We serve to change lives.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
2020. Unprecedented times, uncertainty, and literally a new way of life.
Life happens, usually without warning.
That is why making sure that your family is insured is so important.
Cayman Insurance Center, 47 years strong, working to protect your family and your most valuable assets.
Whether you need to get a quote, renew a policy, or file a claim, Cayman Insurance Center is here to protect you and your family.
For more information, call 949-4657. Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, health, motor, and other lines of insurance products and services at affordable rates.
Optical Outlook Caymanian Village location has moved. Same great services and products, new location. We've moved to Anderson Square in central Georgetown. It's a much larger space with dedicated parking. Please call us on 746-2020 to make your appointment at our new location today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Please come see the difference with Optical Outlook, Cayman's premier optical provider.
Business Boss. Business Boss with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're having fun in the studio with Michelle Bryan. Michelle is a Caymanian watercolor illustrator. Her first book is out, and the name of her business is Michelle Illustration. I just love the name, Michelle. Michelle Illustration. Michelle, before the break, I said I was going to ask you, what is your favorite drawing or painting in your portfolio, and why?
Well, I would always say it's whatever I'm working on, because I do love to create, and I love to improve my craft. So every time I paint, I feel like I'm getting a little better. I'm not there yet, in my opinion. I'm still improving and learning. But one of my favorite illustrations I produced recently was one where it had 5 friends all on a back patio, and they were playing. It was like a summer day, and they're on like this nice brown chair, back patio chair.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about it is just all the different things in it. There's a Caymanian flag, there's a cat on the bench, there's a parrot, there's plants, there's a little baby on the ground playing with a car, and there's a little girl with a little monkey stuffed animal, and one little boy pouring tea.
Oh.
Pretend, you know.
Oh, pretend tea.
Pretend
okay.
tea.
That better be pretend tea.
And one little girl watering plants. And so that was a very fun one to create because there's so much going on in that one picture.
Oh man, what's your best time of day to create your illustrations?
Well, I actually work a full-time job in corporate in the day, and so it's definitely at night.
So while on the job, do you find yourself thinking about what you can be doing when you get home? What will you be doing when you
Sometimes, yes, I would have like an idea pop up and I have to write it down so I don't forget. I have like a little notes folder, art ideas.
Oh man, creative block. Have you reached that point yet?
You know, I think every artist goes through that, where we're just staring at a blank page, like what are we going to do, and we're waiting for inspiration to touch us. But what I've actually found is consistently creating, even if it's something, they call it a bad drawing day, it doesn't look so good. Even that is helpful because you get to work through that blockage feeling. But I find even just pencil sketching is it's very inspirational for creativity, just sketching.
No, is it important having support and encouragement to keep you inspired in order for you to continue to produce your illustrations?
Definitely, yes. Mm-hmm. I have many supporters. I would say my mom and my husband are very supportive of my craft. Like I said, my first watercolor class was a gift from my husband, and my mom, she was always supportive from the time I was a little girl, Bontown Primary School, going on a career day as an artist. Like, she always supported me and supplied all the art supplies. So, but I also have a lot of support from the art community in Cayman. So Art Nest and all the different people there, people on Instagram. I just started this one Instagram challenge. Is called Ktober21, and it's all based on because every October around the world people do a challenge where every day they create a new painting based on a list that they're given, different words, and most of the time it's spooky related because it's October, right? But I decided to make it Cayman related, and so little words like TD, Bobo, iguana, I love women. I had one Scott yesterday, and that was a kind of difficult one. Like, when you hear Scott, what do you think? And so people had all kind of different interpretations. Oh, wow. And so is
that on your Instagram?
It's on my Instagram right now.
Okay.
So just having different challenges, community online and locally, it's really inspiring, and they help me. And then also hearing from different people when they see my work and they have a comment, they would tell me, like, this inspires me. And I say, oh, thank you for sharing what you think about my work, and that also inspires me to keep on creating.
I'm just looking at the hardcover of this new book, Michelle. That putting that on a shelf should be an inspiration for you all the time.
Yes, that's true.
It's a wonderful. I just love the book. Now, do you offer? I know you just don't sit back and do illustrations all day because you work full time. Now, do you offer custom work?
Definitely, yes, I do. Actually, I'm involved in a project right now for a local author to do her children's book illustrations.
Oh, nice.
But
nice.
I do also create greeting cards for every occasion that you can think of. And I also do family portraits, pet portraits, like nursery decor illustrations.
Family portraits as an illustration.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I saw one, I think, with you had with some friends, 5 friends.
You're right.
I saw that yesterday somewhere.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I thought that was amazing. No, what are some other services that you offer at Mish Illustrations?
Well, there's portraits and all those things, but I also have my art available online at Goodness. So the same store in town, across the road from RBC. They have an online store, and my art can be found there. But mostly it's commissioned work, but I have original watercolor pieces available at Goodness.
Oh, I can see you teaming up with like someone like Dreddy, having Dreddy with your work. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to
some collaboration.
Yeah, some kind of nice collaboration there, because I love dready art as well.
Me too.
No, you too.
Yeah.
We had him in the studio some time ago. No, you said you do portraits. Notebook. I saw you have notebook cover.
Right.
Notebook cover design, business card as well.
Yeah.
Some flyer design.
Yeah.
Paintings, wedding signs, birthday signs, chalkboard art.
Right.
Let's talk about chalkboard art.
Yeah.
Is that popular?
I actually haven't marketed it a lot. I've just done it a few times, but it is very fun to do. I create the chalkboard myself, and I would write the child's name and what birthday it is and different little fun facts about the child.
Okay.
So I'm definitely willing to provide that service if it's desired.
All right. Now, Michelle, how can folks reach you?
Well, there's many different places that they can buy the book, but they can also reach me on Instagram and Facebook. My art is, like I said, the originals are available at Goodness in town. So they can call me anytime.
Do you have an email address?
Yes.
Okay. What's it?
It's michelleMbryan@hotmail.com.
michelleMbryan@hotmail.com. No, you don't have a website as yet, though, right?
No website.
No, okay. But you can find you on Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
Awesome. Michelle, anything you'd like to leave with our listeners this morning?
I would just like to say that art is massively important to any society, especially Cayman. We have so many artists. We have a thriving art community, and
we do. I
would encourage people to pursue art for ways to express themselves. And as Caymanians, it's a cultural expression for me as well. I like to promote my culture and inspire other young people and even older people, anyone, to create that expression and have that moment in time, documented. Like my book, maybe someone, a grandchild, will see it, and this is how it was in the 90s growing up, is how it is today too. And I really hope that my art will influence other people to go out and have these experiences with their children. So I actually had a friend that read this book, and she was like, "Oh, you used to do that too? Find those little floaty logs on the beach and turn them into a little raft." And so it wasn't just me. It made me feel like, oh, it wasn't just me. It was you too. And so and another thing is that a friend of mine read the book and said that she was just so inspired to take out her niece to the beach. And so I really want to promote family values too.
That's right.
And reading and art.
Michelle, congratulations once again. And when can we look for the next book?
As soon as I can.
Well, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Proud of
Thank
your new
you.
book. And that's going to be in my grandson's collection for
Thanks,
sure.
Anita.
It'll make a great collection for the kids. And Christmas is coming up, so please go out and support Michelle. Michelle Illustrations. Michelle, thank you so much.
Thank you for
we
having
wish you all
me.
the best. And we look forward to having you back in the studio with your next new book.
Thank you.
Whenever. I want to say thanks to our sponsors this morning. We're going to take a break for the news, traffic, and weather. Time check, of course. And then we'll be back in the studio, second segment, and we'll hear from TSC Financial Services Limited.
Radio Cayman Time Check is now 8 a.m. This time check is brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and Airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. News is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We are here for you. Please be advised that the pension contribution holiday has been extended until 31st of December 2021. Employers and plan members should ensure arrangements are in place for salary deductions and remittance following this date. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, keeping you informed. For further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. We're here for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. After passing the second reading of the Customs and Border Control Amendment Bill Monday afternoon, lawmakers later shifted to the next controversial piece of legislation, with Deputy Premier the Honourable Chris Saunders moving the second reading of the Immigration Transition Amendment Bill.
Mr. Speaker, the ongoing human costs of the global COVID-19 pandemic is staggering. The disease has now infected over 225 million people and caused more than 4.8 million deaths around the world. However, Mr. Speaker, here in the Cayman Islands, we have been very fortunate compared to many other countries.
Mr. Saunders told MPs the country must learn to coexist with COVID-19 for years to come.
The first thing and very challenging step toward economic recovery is through the safe reopening of our borders. A critical aspect of this is ensuring that as high a percentage of our population as possible is vaccinated.
If passed, the bill will mandate vaccinations for new immigration applications and renewals for work permit holders, their dependents, persons legally and ordinarily resident in Cayman for at least 8 years, residency employment certificate holders, residency certificates for persons of independent means, permanent residence holders of independent means, along with their spouses, civil partners, and dependents, direct investment certificate holders, and substantial business presence residency certificate holders. Hundreds gathered on the front steps of Parliament on Monday in support of freedom of choice, demanding government withdraw the bills and allow people to make their own decisions regarding their personal health. The Customs and Border Control Amendment Bill was given a second reading, but the opposition voted against it. And during his contribution to the Immigration Transition Bill, Leader of the Opposition, the Honourable Roy McTaggart, said his side intended to vote against that bill as well, particularly because of the wide scope of residents who will be impacted.
I ask members of this Honourable Parliament this evening and the listening public, look carefully at the list and tell me if you're not concerned. Persons we have invited to set up a business and invest here will now have their rights of residence withdrawn if they choose not to get vaccinated on religious grounds or because of strong personal convictions. What messages are we sending about how much we value these persons as part of our community?
A heated debate followed from many Parliament members present, including the former Premier, the Attorney General, and the Minister for Tourism. The session wrapped up late Monday night, and MPs are scheduled to head back at 10 a.m. this morning. Make sure to tune into our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, as we carry the proceedings live. Shifting our COVID news, for schools dealing with an increasing number of positive cases and many students in isolation, flexibility is critical right now. Monday night, the Department of Education Services released an update.
Remote learning will commence on Tuesday for all Year 8 L2 and Year 8 C2 students from Clifton Hunter High School, as these classes are required by public health to isolate following the confirmation of additional positive COVID-19 cases within these groups.
Department of Education Services Director Mark Ray says there are also changes for some students at John Gray and Prospect Primary.
Face-to-face learning will also resume on Tuesday for all Year 8 WG students from John Gray High School and Year 2 Muir and Year 5 Hinson students from Prospect Primary School, except those who have been advised by public health to remain in isolation.
As we reported right here on Radio Cayman, of the 38 community positives reported on Monday, the majority were in school children. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Chris Barrow. Victims of child sexual abuse at the hands of Roman Catholic priests in France have criticised what they call a deviant church system following the publication of a damning independent report into clerical paedophilia. Survivors said they'd been betrayed and called for major reform of the church. The report estimated that Catholic priests abused 216,000 children. Pope Francis has expressed his great sorrow at the findings of the report. Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen has warned of catastrophic consequences for peace and democracy if the island were to come under Chinese rule. There's currently increasing belligerence from Beijing, whose state media have said Taiwan must understand that war is real. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you aware of the performance of your pension plan? The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended 30th of April, 2021, the various life cycle funds have provided returns between 10.5% and 43.2%. And our all-in expense ratio for year ended 30th of June, 2020 is currently the lowest it's ever been. 0.72%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Did you know that in the event of a hurricane, water designated for the purposes of drinking, cooking, and bathing must be disinfected before use? Water may be disinfected either by boiling or through the use of chlorine bleach. To disinfect through boiling, simply leave the water on the fire for 1 minute after it begins to boil. To disinfect with bleach, add 3 ounces of chlorine bleach to every 1,000 gallons of water. If you are not able to smell the bleach in the water after 30 minutes, then add half of the amount of bleach that was added during the initial application. Recheck the water after 15 minutes to ensure that there is a residual bleach smell. A residual bleach smell is an indicator that the water has been properly disinfected. For more post-hurricane safety tips, visit DEH website at deh.gov.ky.
Defunct.
This Wednesday, we're having a free mic.
Subject.
It's just us and you, if you call it.
Our word of the week is defunct. DEFUNCT.
Defunct.
It is an adjective that means no longer living, existing, active, usable, or in use.
That has nothing to do with youth.
Because we full of functioning.
Join us this Wednesday from 4 to 5 p.m. right here on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM, and you can also check us out on YouTube Live. For Youth Flex, the program for all people by young people. Youth Flex, more than talk.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
Pan American Life Insurance Group can help you take your employee benefit solution to the next level. For more than 110 years, millions of people have trusted PALIG because we've always delivered on our promise. PALIG is the only insurer providing group policies to as few as 3 employees and has the ability to combine life, health, disability, and income protection to provide you and your employees with a complete employee benefits package. Let us customize your employee benefit solution today. Call us at 949-8304 or visit our office at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, or visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
All right, good morning, my friends. Let's take a look at your latest weather. Conditions are nice and sunny on the outside. Present temperature 81 degrees, but it feels like about 90. Winds are out of the east-southeast at 5 miles per hour. Relative humidity 83%. Last night's low dew point was at 75. Barometric pressure at 29.85 inches and dropping. Isolated thunderstorms along with light to moderate east to southeast winds and slight seas will continue across the Cayman area as an upper level trough over the northwest Caribbean interacts with a tropical wave moving across the Cayman area. So our forecast for today: partly cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers and thunder. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. Winds will be east to southeasterly at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Then later this evening, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 50% chance of showers and thunder. Showers may be locally heavy at times. Temperatures will fall to the mid-70s. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, becoming 10 to 15 knots by late tonight. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. High tide is coming up in a few minutes at 8:38 a.m. It's going to be low at 2:43 this afternoon and high at 8:30 this evening. For tomorrow, low tide is at 2:59 a.m., high at 9:19 a.m., low at 3:19 p.m., and high at 9:01 p.m. Your sunset this evening is at 6:09, sunrise for Wednesday morning at 6:18. The outlook is for a decrease in showers and cloudiness from Wednesday evening as the upper level trough weakens and the tropical wave moves out of our area for some well-deserved sunshine. That's your latest weather right here at Radio Cayman.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
We at Pan American Life Insurance Group are here to help you protect your family and your income. For more than 110 years, millions of people have trusted PALIG because we have always delivered on our promise. Life insurance is not only about death, but also about living benefits. We'll help you secure the life insurance, accident and sickness disability income you need to protect you and your family. Call us today at 949-8304 or visit our office, Unit 221 Cannon Place East, North Song Road, or visit www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, break it down. Once the long-term goals are set, work backwards to set smaller and more manageable goals. These should be specific, measurable, and achievable. For example, study in the library for 1 hour 3 times per week instead of study more. Consider what you need to do daily, weekly, or by the end of the year in order to succeed. Smaller goals allow you to focus on the essential steps today to ensure you are prepared when tomorrow's opportunities become available.
Change your thinking and change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong Series was brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. Encourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
All right, a quick look at your traffic situation. Compliments our good friends at Subway. Looking at Shedden Road, getting busy this morning time. Got some traffic coming off the North Church Street, South Church Streets, feeding from both directions on the Seafarers Way and into the side streets. Getting busy. Traffic coming from South Church Street, feeding from South Sound. That's moving slowly, especially cutting up through Walker's Road. Some movement of traffic there. Those coming along Crew Road and also from the Linford Pearson Highway, slow moving traffic. That's the last of the influx of traffic, seeing that the traffic is flowing smoothly at the Crichton Boulevard intersection there. Majority of traffic coming out of the eastern districts already in the Georgetown area. Looking out from Kingsport Center, Linford Pearson is backed up with some traffic feeding off from Shamrock Road. Similar if you're going along Crew Road, that's last of the influx of traffic. Traffic, of course, coming off the SLE Tibbetts Highway, moving good, and out of West Bay. Heading towards the airport, very light traffic there as well. Most streets in Georgetown, Godfrey Nixon Way, looking good and busy. Similar with Eastern Avenue. Kim and Bracken, Little Cayman, very light traffic. The traffic report, of course, brought to you by our good friends at Subway. Look out for people on foot, bicycle, and motorbikes. Don't be texting while driving, because if you get caught, you're going to be in trouble. Your traffic report, once again, brought to you by our good friends at Subway.
You see how hard it's raining?
Yeah, and I don't have time to fight traffic and get my lunch from Subway. I have so much work to do.
Why don't you order Subway by using the Let's Eat or Bento app? Save time, stay dry, and get your sandwich fast.
I never thought of that. Great idea. I'm going to order now.
Order me a veggie pizza while you're at it.
And a cookie platter for the office.
Too busy at work or home? Is the rainy weather stopping you from dining out? Order your favorite Subway sandwich, wrap, or pizza through the Let's Eat or Bento app with fast and reliable delivery. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. Thank you for tuning in and for joining us via YouTube. Thanks, Paul, for sending it back to me. This is our second segment of the Business Buzz this Tuesday morning, and right about now we put the spotlight on TSC Financial Services Limited, a Cayman Islands company which operates in the financial counseling and investment advisory space. Our guests, two gentlemen in the studio. First of all, we'll like to introduce Mr. Alan Shine. Alan is a certified financial planner, a CFP, at TSC Financial Services Limited. And alongside him, we have Mr. Mario E. Banks. Mario is an independent director on the board at TSC Financial Services. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Business Buzz.
Thank you.
Mario, you're no stranger to Radio Cayman. We have to start charging you rent if you keep visiting like this. Alan, I'm sure this is your first time.
I think about the third, So.
Oh, third.
Yeah,
okay. I didn't know that.
So,
no.
Yeah,
because you come with the other show sometime.
Yeah, the
Money Sense.
Money Sense is the one. Yeah. So I think it was actually Money Sense twice. So yeah.
Oh, well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, Mario, and I'm not going to call you Mr. Banks.
That's fine. I'm just Mario.
It's Mario. Mario, many people already know you very well. But there's just that one person out there who doesn't know you, I'm sure. Or maybe not. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the company?
Certainly. Thank you, Anita. And also, happy first anniversary to you as the host of Business Buzz. I think you started last year, October.
Well, thank you, Mario.
Congratulations.
It's been a good ride.
And good luck, and you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Also want to thank the program director, Ms. Susan Watson, who is a very good, she's a producer. She's well organized and did a great job getting us together here.
That's right. Thank you, Susan.
Yes, thank you, Susan. And of course, she was assisted ably by Alan as well, my colleague here on the show this morning. TSC Financial Services Limited. We're actually located. It's a new company, located at the White House on 20 Genesis Close in Georgetown, and website address is www.tscfinancial.ky and email info@tscfinancial.ky. So basically, like I said, people know Mario Eubanks quite a bit. Hopefully it's all good. I'm trying to make it all good anyway. But I have a bachelor's in business administration from the University of Miami, international finance and marketing, and a minor in economics and public affairs, and also have an MBA from the University of Tennessee. So I have quite a diverse academic background and also a diverse career and work background from private sector, public sector, nonprofits. So very diverse. So what I've been doing pretty much full time, even though I'm kind of on a little bit of a sabbatical, but the consulting, the HR consulting, and also providing independent director services, especially for institutional kind of business. And that's how I got connected with TSC Financial. And as you know, I've had many years experience in advocacy for retirement planning. And one of the things that really got me enthused when I met Alan first and we started to talk about the prospect of this company was that Cayman Islands has no income tax or no social security. So when he started to talk about what the company was doing in terms of financial planning and looking at being a counselor and providing those kind of services, it really appealed to me because, as I said, Cayman and Caymanians tend to be more of a consumer society, not a saving society. We don't look too much at the long term in terms of retirement. We look at what we can do now. And so it appealed to me that our objectives, myself and Alan, were compatible in the sense of providing financial services, financial advice and counseling. And or like I said, we want to look at helping people at all income levels to enhance their retirement dollars in our unique environment, Cayman, where there's no social security and no income tax to give that safety net. So basically, the company then was formed, and it was set up here in Cayman within the last year. But Alan has had many years of experience working in South Africa, the same kind of business. And so the company is licensed by the Monetary Authority here in the Cayman Islands earlier this year, and it's full-fledged to offer the services that we want to talk to you about this morning. So I'm very happy to be I'm not a shareholder, I'm not an employee, I'm simply an independent director on the board.
Well, good to have you in the studio, Mario. And it's hard for me to see you taking a sabbatical.
Well, we'll see what happens.
That does not sound Mario-like.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
No, what was it that brought you and Alan together as part of the TSC Financial Services, Mario?
Well, as I said, the environment that we're operating in Cayman, I met Alan sometime last year, and we've got talking. And I have been involved in the HR field for many years, as you know, and working in public sector and private sector, and also as a consultant. And one of the things that I noticed over the years is that a lot of people tend to have some issues with budgeting, employees in particular. So things like getting salary advances, getting loans from the employer. Sometimes people go to these loan sharks and get these money until payday, and those financial issues, as well as some companion social issues, led me to believe that we had a major problem, especially in some other organizations. And of course, all these issues of financial stress, money shortage, looking at long term and seeing where you are and getting anxious about it, to me was the issue of not just nation building, but also people's individual financial wellness, health and wellness. And so luck happened that Alan approached me, and we had a talk at one of my organizations. And I said, I think God must have sent you here because people in this organization need to have advice in terms of their budgeting and their financial planning for now and also in the future. So that's how we connected. And when he started to talk about what he did in South Africa and what he wanted to do here, I said, this is a good combination. Let's make it happen.
And here you are.
Yeah, it's all.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, Alan, TSC Financial Services is the only financial planning company in Cayman that is managed by a certified financial planner like yourself.
Yeah.
Why should someone use a certified financial planner instead of any other investment advisor in Cayman?
Okay, so when you deal with the CFP, you know that person's regulated by an international body, the Financial Planning Standards Board. Mm-hmm. You basically know that the quality of advice is very high. The person that you're dealing with is trustworthy and follows a standard and code of ethics. And also they have to have passed certain exams at postgraduate level and also board exams. And I'd say the most important thing, it's all good and well having the qualifications, but are you doing continuous professional development? And that's one of the cornerstones of being a CFP, is that you've got to stay on top of what is best practice, what are the new things happening in the industry, the new ways of investing, the new products. And then also, we are, like I say, regulated by them as well internationally. So the advice that I give has to adhere to those standards as well. So obviously to the local monetary authority as well, but there's an added level of protection for clients when they deal with the CFP because, the Financial Planning Standard Board also has teeth. So I don't want to lose my designation over neglecting to give good advice or giving poor advice. So when you deal with the CFP, you know that you're dealing with somebody that takes their profession very seriously. Yeah.
I need a CFP.
You want to earn it, or you want somebody who has this designation?
Yeah. So I always tell people, if you want to do it yourselves, by the time you figure it all out, you'll also be a CFP. So, yeah.
So, Alan, what services and investment solutions does TSC offer?
So predominantly, it's obviously the financial planning and advice. So everything stems from that. So the main solutions to problems or tools we have to help people with is to help them manage their portfolios. So if they've got an investment portfolio, whether that's in mutual funds, stocks, physical assets, cash in the bank, we can help them structure that in the most effective way to manage the risk. And also we do regular premium investments. So if you need to put money away on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis, we can help with that. And we also do lump sum investing as the main things we do. And we are independent on that. So we can help you source investments from any product provider or any investment platform or fund. So the other things that we also do, so that's like I would say the core. Mm-hmm. But I mean, as part of the financial planning, you may need other services like helping you with your budget, helping plan for certain life events, such as getting married, planning for education. Retirement is usually a big one, obviously, and that's one of the main things we do. And also retiring, so when you reach the age that you're going to stop working, you need somebody that you can speak to that has the knowledge and experience and expertise. So, for example, we would have dealt with multiple clients. So from your young person just starting out to, a wealthy individual. Mm-hmm. So we can bring that knowledge of having taken somebody through from, having a certain amount of wealth to becoming high net worth to giving that advice to somebody at grassroots level as well. So that's the benefits we offer.
Now, on your website, you're listed as an independent financial advisor. What does it mean to be, and you just mentioned it, what does it mean to be an independent and why does it matter?
Okay, so that's actually why I even started TSC Financial Services in the beginning, back in 2012, in South Africa. And I found it to be very important to have an independent approach to dealing with my clients. So what I'd seen in the industry and in South Africa and worldwide is that everything was focused on product sales or investment fund sales, so selling for specific companies or, trying to achieve super profits for certain shareholders. So when you are independent, you're not influenced by outside factors. So you end up working for your client's best interests. So I work for my clients as an independent financial advisor, not for a bank, not for an investment fund.
stakeholders.
Yeah,
Okay.
not so. So the advice that I give is not influenced by outside parties that can cause biases. And there's advantages to those not being independent. There is definitely merit towards that. But I've just found overall, when it comes to having people trust me to deal with their finances, I can't have a bias towards a certain type of investment. So to be independent means that you can deal with multiple product providers, multiple investment funds. So I'm not tied down to any particular way of investing or dealing with my clients. I can help them with the advice behind that. Yeah.
I love that. Now, on that note, we'll take a break, and when we come back, I'll ask you why is financial planning important? But in the meantime, I'll let our listeners know that in the studio with me this morning, Mr. Alan Shine, Certified Financial Planner, to put it CFP, at TSC Financial Services Limited, and alongside him, Mr. Mario E. Banks. Mario is no stranger to the Cayman Islands. He is an independent director on the board at TSC Financial Services Limited.
Optical Outlook Caymanian Village location has moved. Same great services and products, new location. We've moved to Anderson Square in central Georgetown. It's a much larger space with dedicated parking. Please call us on 746-2020 to make your appointment at our new location today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Please come see the difference with Optical Outlook, Cayman's premier optical provider.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19, it is important to stay prepared for other disasters now that we're in the hurricane season. Here are some post-hurricane safety tips from the Department of Environmental Health. Did you know you must ensure all utensils are washed with detergent and rinsed with hot water if they make contact with flood water? For full guidance on post-hurricane safety tips, visit www.deh.gov.ky.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. In the studio we have Mr. Mario Banks. Mario is an independent director on the board of TSC Financial Services Limited. And alongside him, we have Mr. Alan Shine. Alan is a certified financial planner, a CFP at TSC Financial Services Limited. Financial planning. Why is financial planning important? And what do you think of the general state of financial planning in the Cayman Islands? It might be a pet peeve of yours, Mario.
Yeah, let me just go on that one to start with. I want to also say, though, however, that TSC Financial, we're not a custodian of funds. We don't do the asset under management or services or financial advice, counseling, financial planning and coordination. So no money that people invest actually comes into our company or into our hands. Yeah. And so if somebody has a small amount of money that they have per month that they want to get invested, TSC will give advice on that, how best to make that money work for you depending on your objectives. So whether it's $200 a month or $500 or $1,000 or $10,000 a month that somebody has that they want to invest, that's the kind of thing that the company does. And I also want to say that because I am a licensed and registered director by the Monetary Authority, when you're an independent director, you're obviously supporting the shareholders' interests. Mm-hmm. But as an independent director, I'm also looking at the national interests, and being registered and licensed by the Monetary Authority, I have a responsibility to be accountable to them as well. So basically, we have in Cayman has a very rich financial services landscape. A lot of financial services providers, and so we have the CFA Society in Cayman. But the CFA, really, they're not financial planners. They're more financial analysts, and they can do financial planning. But so the fact that we have this state of financial planning in Cayman and having a CFP certified person like Alan and this organization, it adds to the robustness of our financial services infrastructure here in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, so financial planning itself is very important because it gives you an opportunity to have a snapshot of where you are in your finances, in relation to your goals, and it also might highlight the fact that you don't have any goals at the moment. So we can help you develop those in line with things you should be doing, and help you work back off of those to build a plan and a workable solution to help you achieve those goals and objectives. So with the saying always goes, without a plan you plan to fail. So and it's no different with financial planning, and doing proper financial planning avoids you wasting time drifting around chasing after investments with no actual objective, which ends up making you make mistakes when it comes to that. So so it's very important. It does help leverage your financial position. So, for example, if you have somebody that is earning a certain amount of salary, doing their finances by themselves versus the exact same copy of the person dealing with a financial planner, you're going to find over time that the person dealing with a financial planner is a lot more happy. They know what's happening in their lives, and they're going to end up theoretically with more wealth. So that's why financial planning is important, and it definitely. And part of the reason why Mauro and I got speaking in the beginning was that there's not actually a lot of financial planners on the island that are interested in dealing with people that don't have more than $1 million. So, and I found that to be a problem. So it was a gap that needed to be filled by somebody that's providing a professional level of financial services and advice to people.
Well, thanks for filling that gap, Alan. And do you charge for? Of course, you charge for your consultation, right?
Yeah. So we a hybrid fee practice. So that's also under a recommendation by the Financial Planning Standards Board internationally. So they've done a lot of research into the way that is most beneficial for clients to interact with an advisor, and you generally get commission-driven models where the advisors are selling products that pay them commission. And on the other side of the scale, you get people that are charging fees for their advice. And quite often, somebody that's only charging fees is the best blend to offer our clients a service that's fair and equitable while still putting them first.
And speaking of gap, good segue for my next question. People often talk about the wealth gap growing larger, and the average person finding it harder to make ends meet. How do we address this as a country before it's too late?
Well, let me just say, Anita, thank you for that very powerful question. I have always said, especially since COVID came in, that we need to press the reset button. And the reset button also refers to individuals, because after COVID goes past us, and we'll get over it, I would estimate within the next year or so we'll see COVID behind us, unless God comes before then. but let's be positive and prepare, right? And I think if people look at, people might say, well, I can't really worry about financial planning because I got to survive. But we still got to look at the longer term. So that's why financial planning, and that's why TSC Financial Services is important, because you can still determine you're going to work, what you want to achieve in retirement when you're 65 or 70, and how to get there, and what's the gap. So to talk about your gap, I mean, Cayman, you talk about the wealth of the country and the gap between the have and have-nots. But we're a society that the cost of living is quite high. We're very high cost of living, because
high standard of living as well.
High standard of living as well. We are a wonderful country actually, but we have a high cost of living, but a high standard of living. But because we import almost everything in the country, 90% of our imports are consumables. And we have things like the necessities of life, the housing, the fuel, the food costs, and land and whatnot. We also have this phenomenon of keeping up with the Joneses. People still want to.
We have to, Mario.
Everybody wants to do that, but that is also something that causes tremendous stress, and you've got to be able to plan and think about the long term. Right. And then on the other side, we have no social security. We have no safety net in the country other than NAU, and we know NAU is has its own challenges. So people depend on retirement, right? And the only retirement that we have right now in the private sector is the private sector pensions, and in the public sector you have the public sector pension plan for defined benefit people that have been there for 33 years. They get a pretty good retirement fund, but those who are in a defined contribution scheme, it's a different story. So in the private sector, if you even work 40 or 45 years, you pretty much only in that time, if you're contributing the 10% for the maximum year's pensionable earnings amount, at the end of that 40, 45 years, you only have probably 4 or 5 years of income in your pension. And that's 4 or 5 years of income over your entire life that you have to now use for the next 20 to 30 years. So that's why financial planning is important. And that's why looking at this gap and looking at budgeting and looking at thinking about long term and looking at not necessarily, what you want, but what you need, and looking at a plan is important. And that's why Alan and TSC Financial Services can actually work a plan for you depending on what you can afford.
Yeah, and it's also we help people to take responsibility for their own finances and wealth. You can't rely on others at the end of the day. I mean, there's always a certain level of help, but if you're not taking care of your finances and picking your lifestyle rather than letting inflation run away with you, and that's another concern coming up with inflation starting to increase, is you find that increases the wealth gap more because people are used to certain lifestyles, spending a certain amount of money on certain things, and they keep spending the money on those things, but those things are more expensive. So by dealing with a financial advisor and having somebody as not a policeman, but somebody that's working with you, highlighting those things that's currently happening in your life, you can get on top of those things quicker. And it doesn't matter what income bracket you're in. You need to be taking care of those things and making, treating your money with the respect it deserves. So,
I'm feeling a little guilty here.
Well, that's a good thing. Good anxiety.
No, Alan, many local investment funds require a minimum of $100,000 to $500,000 to start, which is impossible, as we know, for most people like myself, who are also looking to invest in high-performing funds. What is your minimum? Do you have a minimum?
Okay, so again, because we don't collect our clients' money, we help them find a place that they can invest.
Correct.
So you could really invest from $250 a month if you wanted to do that, or you can do lump sums from reasonably $10,000, but theoretically $1,000 you could do. But it becomes more effective just because of the wire transfer fees, to contribute a bit more when it comes to lump sum investing. But you don't actually have to be ready to invest before you speak to a financial planner. So it's all good and well if you have got money that you're ready to invest, whether it is $250 or $10,000 a month that you want to do. But don't wait until you're ready. Start working with somebody that's going to sit with you and think through and plan when it is that you're going to be ready. Why aren't you ready now? What can you do to get ready? And set, again, another milestone, another goal of, okay, I want to be starting my investments next year or in the next 2 years. What do I need to do now to be able to do that? And then
that's
I can help with that.
why you are the certified financial planner.
Yes.
Very good. Mario, let me go back to you. You were an integral part of the establishment of pension funds in Cayman with People's Pension Fund savings. Generally, will they be enough for retirement? No, we know the answer to that, but we still want to hear it from you.
Yes. Yeah, I was happy to be involved in pension plan legislation development in the Cayman Islands from the early 90s, really, along with many other people in the government and the private sector. But I was happy to be involved, and I think it was something that was long overdue. So our pension plan framework in the private sector is a good thing, but it's also only a safety net, because when you think about it, right now people in the private sector pension, they pay 10% of their year's maximum pensionable earnings, and that's set at $87,000 a year. So 10% of $87,000 a year is $8,700 per year that you're putting into your pension, right? So if you take that kind of amount times, say, 45 years, you're only accumulating over your working life of 45 years $391,500. So you're going to get that. Of course, added to that would be your investment earnings, and then less your cost, the cost of the pension fund. And so you have to live, unless you do something in excess of that minimum, you have to live on that $391,000 for the next 20 to 30 years. That's impossible, especially if you're only getting $15,000 a year. So the purpose of this retirement planning or financial planning that we're talking about is that you then look at what else you can do to enhance your retirement above that minimum. And as I said before, in the public sector, you have a different regime where you have the defined benefit pension plan that pays, I believe, is 66 2/3% of your annual income, providing you have the eligibility and you're vested. And the defined contributions is whatever you get in your fund and what you get back, almost like the private sector. So we have a good safety net in private sector pensions. We have to make it better. It's woefully inadequate in many cases, including the 10% contribution that was supposed to have been increased from 1998 and hasn't been increased yet. But that's why people need to do additional, whether it's additional voluntary contributions on their pensions or look at other advice and investments that they can do to enhance their retirement. Because when you get to be 65, 70, 75, and you depend on people to help you, it's not a pretty picture. So that's the case for many people now, but we need to look forward to the next 20, 30 years where that situation is a lot better and people can enjoy their retirement and they can travel and they can not have a stress of financial pressures.
Now, this pension talk can be another show.
We
Mario.
could do another show, yeah. We'd love to do that.
Now, Alan, what has been your experience seeing that you work with clients relating to finances on a daily basis?
Yeah, so I generally find that, again, people haven't really engaged with a financial advisor. So, you get people that have, there's a broad range of different types of people here earning different salaries, doing different things. But if I could break it down into a few categories, you get your school leavers or college graduates that start working and they get ahead of themselves quite often with spending money now that they're earning a lot more. They may be looking to rent a new house or buy a car or show their fruits of their labor. But in actual fact, a lot of the time what they're doing is they're digging a hole for themselves that they're going to regret, because it will take them their good years of their 30s and 40s to get out of those holes. So where I've helped people is to actually sit down with them, structure their budgets correctly, be strict about it, picking their lifestyle carefully, and setting in the basics of a financial plan, the structure. So setting up your emergency fund, so that would be 3 to 6 months of your expenses in a separate account that's safe. And then once they've done that, we can move on to investing. And then you get a bit other people that are a bit more into their career, 20s and 30s. They're starting to build some wealth. And quite often what I found with people in those groups is that they are, again, it's the same thing. They don't actually have a plan, so they are doing investments, but it's a bit haphazard. And quite often they are investing into funds that are just really expensive, or products that are overly expensive, and they are none the wiser. So I would help them look at their, where they're investing, why they're doing it, give them a consolidated view of that, and help them reduce the fees and try and increase the returns now that they are still young enough to take those risks. And then you get your people that are, nearing retirement, consolidating their wealth and post-retirement. And the way I've been able to help them is to start focusing on protecting their wealth, doing the cash flows for them so they understand what liquidities requirements they're going to have into retirement, and helping them envisage, what kind of standard of living they're going to have and what they can still do now while they've still got anything between, 5, 10 and 15 years left of work. And then just helping all those people invest. And something I didn't mention before is that a lot of the investments we have, we can actually get institutional class pricing on those funds. So as a normal retail investor, so somebody that's not high net worth, you're actually going to be getting the same fees that a institution or high net worth person would pay. So that's we try and find the lowest fee solutions for people.
Awesome. We've got to take a quick break. Forgot about the break. When we come back, we'll continue with TSC Financial Services.
2020. Unprecedented times, uncertainty, and literally a new way of life.
Life happens, usually without warning.
That is why making sure that your family is insured is so important.
Cayman Insurance Center, 47 years strong, working to protect your family and your most valuable assets.
Whether you need to get a quote, renew a policy, or file a claim, Cayman Insurance Center is here to protect you and your family.
For more information, call 949-4657. Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, health, motor, and other lines of insurance products and services at affordable rates. You can now renew your driver's license or motor vehicle license online, and you don't need an ESID number. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Visit www.dvdl.gov.ky.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. TSC Financial Services Limited is in the studio. Mr. Alan Shine, Certified Financial Planner, CFP at TSC Financial. And we have Mr. Mario Ebanks. Mario is an independent director on the board at TSC Financial Services Limited. Now, gentlemen, this is such an amazing discussion that I can sit here all day and just listen.
Thank you.
Because people like myself, I don't do any kind of financial planning, and I think about it all the time because I'm not getting any younger. But Alan, question: do you do any complimentary consultation at all?
Yes, we do. So the initial consultation is always free. So we would normally meet with the clients and help them understand their. We'll gather some information about them and make some recommendations. So that might be 2 meetings that would be completely free, no obligation. And if they wanted to deal with us from there, then we could obviously take them through the different ways of going about that.
Okay, awesome. I like that. Now, what if somebody already has investments, say, at a local bank or with other advisor, but need a second opinion? Can you still assist them?
Absolutely. So I always advocate getting a second opinion, whether that's somebody that's dealt with me or if you're dealing with another financial advisor. It just keeps the checks and balances in place. So we can absolutely, if you've invested with local funds or banks or other investment companies, we can help you do the research on those, do the due diligence, check the performance, do comparisons to other opportunities that are out there, and actually help manage the consultants you're dealing with. So if you're dealing with an advisor at a certain company and maybe a few other people at different places, we can actually manage those people as well, because we work for our clients, not an institution.
Awesome. Now, we understand that your company has a financial wellness program and you conduct staff presentations at various companies.
Yeah.
What does this offer employers, and of course their staff?
Yeah. Do you want to start there, Mario?
Let me jump in that one. Yeah. I also want to say to people that, as Alan mentioned, everybody, regardless of your income, can identify a small amount of money that you can invest to improve your retirement planning. And one of the things that we found interesting and useful is the retirement calculator. What that does is you go in there and put in your age, when you want to retire, your income and whatnot, and it gives you a kind of plan. And you can see a retirement calculator if you go in the Chamber of Commerce pension plan website, or you can go to the Silver Thatch, and you can actually do that pension calculator. But talking about the presentations, Anita, these presentations, Alan can do those free of charge at employees' organizations. It can be done physically or via Zoom. For example, if an organization has a staff meeting or a staff retreat, he can go and do that presentation to all the staff and tell them about the options and talk about budgeting and financial planning. And what we find in a lot of cases that people are, as you are, a little bit intimidated by the subject of financial planning. A lot of people are. So it's not just you. So I think that people who need this information sometimes are the most reluctant to get it. But once you get a flavor for what's possible, you realize that it's not a daunting task. You can do it even if you only have a small amount of money to invest. So these presentations can be done. If folks contact TSC Financial, again, the number is 922-9004, or email at info@tscfinancial.ky, or you can also email me at premier@Kandawaki, and we can make arrangements for people to get assessments, presentations, or, as Alan mentioned, free initial counseling.
Yeah, just sorry, Mario. We did just actually update our office number. It's now 743-4663.
743.
4663.
Yeah, I thought so.
4663. Yeah.
That's a recent update. So sorry, I don't know.
743-4663, Mario.
Right.
And to our listeners, Mario, I would jump to get a CFP if I had the money to invest. But that's the problem. If you don't have much, then you worry about, your other bills and don't think about jumping to get a head start on some financial planning.
Yeah, some people, especially the Jews around the world, they have the thing of saving. They put aside what they're going to save first and then survive on the balance. So I think what I want to encourage people at every strata of life, whatever economic sector you're in, look at what you can carve out every month to have invested into something for the longer term and just protect that. And just like you do your 10% tithing for church if you're Christians, also put aside your disposable income that you can invest. So it doesn't have to take a lot of money, but you can take something and make it disciplined and absolute.
Yeah, and then I've also got the tools and techniques and know-how, so if you feel like you can't invest or you don't have enough money, I can help you get on top of that much quicker by working with me than by yourself, because I've seen thousands of people's budgets by now, and I know how to improve them. So yeah,
but I could just also say from the HR point of view that this issue of financial wellness is important to health and wellness in the workplace. So for HR managers and stuff in organizations, look at this as one of the tools that you can have for your employees to be more happy, productive, and stay with you for a longer time.
A financial wellness program. I love it. No, guys, I have so many questions to ask you, but we're almost out of time. We've got 2 minutes left, a minute and a half. What are your hours and your location again?
So hours are 8 to 5, Monday to Friday. And we are located at the White House. That's at 20 Genesis Close in Georgetown. But also we do understand that not everyone has the availability to see during office hours. So we do make arrangements to see clients after hours and on weekends as well.
Okay. Anything you'd like to leave with our listeners, Alan?
I just want to extend, the offer to people, an invitation. We want to get at least 2 young Canadians on board on our pro bono program to actually showcase what solid financial planning can do when you start young. So we want 2 people to reach out to us that are interested in this. There's no charge for the advice, and we will work with them to improve their future.
Oh, thank you. And Mario?
Just want to say to people that you can get more information on TSC Financial by going to the website, www.tscfinancial.ky. In that, you'll see a lot of information about what we talked about this morning. But I want to stress to people that do a budget, stick to your budget, focus on your needs versus your wants, defer spending to replace it with savings for retirement, and having a CFP like Alan and TSC Financial in your corner, it makes life a lot better, and you'll have less stress, and you can have a better retirement. Financial wellness is an important part of health and wellness, so let's all work together to achieve that.
Absolutely.
I certainly agree. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure having you in the studio this morning. Our guests were Alan Shine, Certified Financial Planner at TSC Financial Services, and, of course, Mr. Mario Ebanks. Mario is an independent director on the board of TSC Financial Services Limited. I want to thank our sponsors this morning, Cayman Insurance Centre, Optical Outlook, and Cayman Medical Supplies. Don't forget, we now have Brack Medical Supplies in Cayman Brack. And want to thank our listeners and our viewers on YouTube, Silver Fox in the studio, and of course our producer, Miss Susan Watson. Thanks to our first guest on the show this morning, Michelle Bryan. And in the meantime, have yourself a wonderful Tuesday. God's willing, we'll see you on Thursday right back in studio on the Business Buzz.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. And Cayman Insurance Centre, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Health City, now open at Camana Bay 7 days a week. Optical Outlook, now at their new location in Anderson Square. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook. And Lee's Office Products Limited,